It's one of those little gardening aggravations. You plant a pot full of annuals, you take it out to your porch, you think, gosh, this is going to be pretty out there. But the next day comes around, and what do you find? A squirrel has dug a hole in the middle of it, scattering all your plants to the 4 directions, and you've got a messed up pot and you have to do your work all over again. Or you make a nice big planter, and you plant it very nicely, put it out on the patio, and come back the next day and find that the neighborhood cat has decided this makes a perfect toilet for her use. What can you do to protect pots and planters from cats and from squirrels? Well, it turns out it's really easy to do it. All you need is a little chicken wire. Now, you can go to hardware stores and easily get chicken wire. I like the 2-inch mesh in particular because it makes it easier to do what I'm about to do, which is to plant my annuals through the chicken wire into the potting soil. Of course, you'll use some wire snips to carve a piece up that fits just inside the interior of your planter or your pot. Lay it down just like that, and then go to planting. Because the openings are so big, it's a simple matter just to open up the soil, stick the annual in there, and put in as many as you care to arrange your design in your planter. Now, we're just using coleus here for an example, but of course in most planters you would try to make it really artistic and have some plants that go up and some plants that go down, and maybe some plants that have some pretty flowers in them as well. So you can see how easy it is to plant through this 2-inch mesh chicken wire right here. If you find that the root balls of your plants are a little bit too big, if you're using 3-inch or 4-inch type plants, it's okay also to take your nippers and open this up a little bit to make a little bit larger hole. Let's bend the wire back there. And then an even larger plant can be put in that space. Now, of course, be careful, watch where your fingers go so you don't get stuck by the wire. But I think you can see pretty easily how you can protect the soil itself from being dug up. And then we'll disguise this a little bit so that the next animal that comes around here trying to use this planter is going to find that they can't dig very far and certainly won't be able to uproot these plants that you have outdoors. Now, what if you find that you have a planter that they haven't visited for a long time and the plants are mature there, but all of a sudden a squirrel takes a liking to that particular pot? Well, let's pretend right here, we'll take a couple of the begonias out and straighten up the soil, and we'll pretend that this is a mature plant that you've had growing there for a long time. You can probably figure out exactly what we're going to do. More chicken wire, but this time we'll cut it into strips that'll fit around the plant. Again, you can use nippers, you can use wire cutters like I have here, 10 snips, whatever cuts the wire of the chicken wire. And I'll put it around here, put it around here. I can tell that I need to take a little bit off on the ends. That goes, and a little bit here. I guess it would be just about as easy to fold it down around the edges too. There, that fits inside the pot very nicely, but there's a problem. If the squirrel comes along and digs in it, those are pretty light pieces of wire, and they might be able to dig them up and toss them over the side. So you can anchor down that wire using stiff wire. Now, you can probably tell how I made this. This is nothing more than coat hanger wire. Again, I took the wire nippers and cut the shoulders off of the coat hanger wire, and now I have little hairpins that I can stick down in the soil right here and anchor this wire in place. And again, when the squirrel comes around and decides that he wants to see if there is an acorn hidden in your potting soil, then you'll be able to thwart that squirrel's attention to your potted plants outdoors. That is one of those little gardening aggravations, but as you can tell, it's pretty easy to solve. A little bit of chicken wire, a little bit of time, and your plants will be safe from cats or squirrels that come visiting in your landscape.